Hi, I'm Stan The Annuity Man, America's annuity agent, licensed in all 50 states, including yours. By the way, producer, this is a great restaurant in Nashville, Tennessee. It's a vegan restaurant. Yes, I'm vegan, but I digress. What am I ranting about today? I'm ranting about those Saturday morning annuity shows. Here we go again on just pushing the limit of the truth. Now, the great part about this story is that's how Stan the Annuity Man became Stan the Annuity Man. Years and years and years and years and years ago, more than 10 years ago, I'm minding my own business, driving through Jacksonville, Florida, which is one of the places that I live, and I hear this show on the radio, and it was something called like Safe Money, blah, blah, blah. And a lot of these shows have like safe money in it, which I guess is like the hook for the public. And they were talking about this too good to be true product, market upside with no downside, and all that nonsense. And I just like, what? This was back early in the day. Now, I was familiar with the indexed annuity product from 1995 when it got introduced because I was working with Morgan Stanley, Dean Witter, UBS, Payne Weber. So I remember all those days. I'm that old. But these idiots, these no, I'm not going to say that. I was going to say car salesman, but I know some really good car salesmen. But these idiots were pushing this too good to be true product. They were saying market upside with no downside. They were giving out return scenarios that were double-digit return scenarios. And they were saying, yeah, if you'd have owned it 10 years ago, blah, 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 you'd have gotten this. And we're going to give you an upfront bonus for signing and all this stuff. It just went on and on and on. And what did I do? I pulled the car over because I was so mad, and I called into these yahoos, and I literally filleted them like flounders on air. And I embarrassed them. And that's how the Stan the Annuity Man thing happened, because what happened from that is people knew my name. I mean, they said, Stan, well, you must be, I know him. They called and said, Stan, I have this annuity, can you look at it? Fast forward to now, #1 agent in the country, licensed in all 50 states, and it all happened from these crap radio shows on Saturday morning or Sunday morning or whatever that you hear on your local AM radio station. They're still happening. They're still happening, and they are garbage, because they're pitching one product. Think about if you went into a store and there was only one product. Think about if your doctor looked at you and everyone else that came in the office and gave one recommendation for medicine. Think about that. That's stupid. It's not a one-size-fits-all. But oh no, these radio guys in the morning, on Saturday morning, they ruin some Saturday mornings for people because they have the too good to be true product, the market upside with no downside, all of that stuff. Am I against index annuities? No, I think they're fantastic products. They're very, very good products, but they're not too good to be true. If someone pitches you a too good to be true product, it is. If it sounds too good to be true and you look at your spouse and say, that sounds really good, it's not that good. If someone says they're giving you free money upfront bonus for signing, there's not a philanthropist at an annuity company that's giving money away. If someone says they can get you free long-term care, they can't. If someone says they can get you market upside with no downside, they can't. I'm mad because these yahoos are ruining a very good product. Indexed annuities are getting a very bad rap. And people that are buying them, they don't know what they're buying. They're buying the dream. They're buying the unicorn station, the butterflies. They're buying what they're hearing on the radio station. And what are they trying to get? The radio guys, they want you to come in and have that appointment and hard close you right there. Sign the paperwork right there. One meeting, close. Understand this, there's never an urgency to buy an annuity, but there is an urgency to understand it. And indexed annuities are very, very, very complicated products. That's if they're just standalone. If they're standalone, you're just buying them for principal protection. I mean, good luck understanding the index option. I understand it. I've written a book on it. I'll send it to you for free if you go to theannuityman.com. But once you attach an income rider, then it's game on. Then it gets kind of complicated. You need a true professional. You need someone who's going to tell you the truth about the products. Here's the other thing they do. They talk about, well, if you already have an annuity, you can go into this annuity because it gives you an upfront bonus to transfer. That's illegal. You can't do that. I know that's what they're pushing. The bonus money is not free money. It is a contractual guarantee. It's part of the overall contractual guarantee. Now, the question is, why is it still happening? Why 10 years later, after it got me in the business, which is good because I'm cleaning things up out here one step at a time, but why is it still happening? The reason it's still happening is fixed index annuities are regulated at the state level. They're issued by life insurance companies. They're not securities, so FINRA and the SEC have nothing to do with them. They should, because if these yahoos keep talking about market returns, stock market returns, then let's regulate it as a security. But it's not a security. It's a fixed annuity. It's a CD product, period. Now, what the industry needs to do is shut these cats down. I mean, how do you give retirement advice to everyone out there and only talk about one strategy? You either are a sociopath that's looking for the highest commission product out there, or you're lazy, or a combination of the two, or you're an idiot. Combination of the three. This is easily solved. If the annuity industry would just go out there and say to the distribution companies that are helping these agents put these shows on, they need to shut them down or disclaimer them into the ground. You don't hear any of that because, by the way, because they're not securities, it's not regulated like a security. When you're in the business, I was with Morgan Stanley, Dean Witter, Payne Weber, UBS, you can't just carte blanchely say something on the radio. You can't give those type of recommendations. But oh no, fixed annuities, you can get a license in some states in a week to sell indexed annuities. That's crazy talk. And what do? They get on these radio stations and they blast the airwaves, and people are out there scared to death with the volatility and the COVID and all this stuff at the time of this taping, and they're looking for the perfect product, and it does not exist. The problem is these radio shows are telling them that it does. It does not. Annuities are contracts. Annuities are commodity products. You buy annuities for the contractual guarantee. You never buy the hypothetical, theoretical, back-tested, projected, hopeful agent return scenario. You never give a rip about what's promised. All you give a rip about is what's in the contract. If you're interested in indexed annuities, then ask them for a specimen policy. Ask me for a specimen policy. But turn off these radio shows. This is garbage. And if it was in the securities industry, and of course the securities industry is not perfect, but they're not going to allow this garbage. If you listen to a securities person, a fee-only person on the radio, they're kind of given a broad brush. And there's disclaimers. This isn't a recommendation. You need to meet with somebody. But oh no, not these radio shows for annuities. No, no, no. These are one size fits all, too good to be true. It's time to roll over all your money into it. That's garbage. Go to theannuityman.com for the truth. Go to theannuityman.com for my books, to listen to my podcast, to watch these videos. Don't fall for it. Don't be, as they say, the rube at the table at Vegas. If you don't know who that is, then it's you. Don't let it be you.